Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another gameplay showcase for Total War Pharaoh with Yin Yang Total War. I'm hoping that this gameplay is going to be very cool. Hoping that they're going to show us some more information about the campaign map. I'm watching it as I'm doing this recording for the first time, so let's go ahead and get started.
Egypt has many sacred lands. Most men
Hopefully this
are
doesn't
not
overpower me like it did last
conditioned
time.
to conquer them. They may believe they are, but they lack the skill.
Looks like old Pharaoh's dying.
The respect.
Now, a lot of people are going to kind of probably dump on the, or I'm sorry, a lot of my more historically conservative fans out there are going to dump on the fact that there's a woman leading armies, but this is the Bronze Age. It's also Egypt. I'm not entirely sure that we wouldn't see a woman leading an army. It's I mean it's definitely something that could happen, and as long as she's not doing magic or anything crazy like that, I think we're still on the right track.
Only those that understand our lands can rule over them.
Good morning, everyone. The sun is shining, the Pharaoh's dead, and we are getting out of... The Pharaoh's dead. How dramatic. Well, we all know what happens when you have an empty throne. Civil war. And the question on everyone's lips is who will be Pharaoh next? No checking the history books, we're in control of history now. We're showing you an early alpha build of the game, so please forgive any upside down pyramids or other visual oddities. Our journey started in
look
Upper
at that
Egypt,
map.
which is actually south of Lower Egypt. Figured that one out. We took advantage of our close relationship with Seti and set up some early barter agreements. 500 food for 110 wood put us in a healthy position to grow our army. And grow we did, taking out and settling the provinces of Yebu through Hetem and Mez, and Kirka Oasis. We didn't just take these lands on a random whim though. Oh no. Their production of food and stone respectively was important for us to secure our large armies. But now that the Pharaoh is out of the picture, they benefit us in more ways than one. Let's head into the Pharaoh's crown window to get a rundown of the situation and officially join the war. We have 15 turns until the next Pharaoh is decided, which will increase as new factions join the war. The basis of that decision lies in how much legitimacy the contender has. As you can see, we currently have 43 legitimacy. One of our largest sources of that comes from how much sacred Egyptian land we own. When I said we didn't take this land on a random whim, here's the main reason we took it. Expanding out into the desert has gained us enough legitimacy to land us in third place for the crown. Our closest rivals include Amenmez and Meneptah's remaining faction. I'm not above spoiling the race with a little blade to the ankle, if you know what I mean. I'm gonna kill off my competitors if that wasn't clear. Once we take the lead for legitimacy, we'll claim our place as Pharaoh, and using that power, take Meneptah, our rightful land to rule from, also known as Memphis. So, on turn 22, we were just attacked by one of the last remaining armies of Kirka. They thought they could take back Kirka.
Pretty cool that they're going to have a countdown timer to how long you have to accomplish that goal. It kind of puts a sense of urgency on defeating your rivals that I really haven't gotten from Total Wars in the past. Anyway.
Kirka Oasis, but Taurset was close enough by to interrupt their siege. Now, I love Kirka Oasis. It's my favorite oasis. but I'd rather not have to keep bringing Taurset back over to defend it. So before we leave, I'm going to stop by the settlement's garrison camp. By swapping in some of our units, we can have a backup army with reduced upkeep lying in wait nearby, just in case the settlement needs it. We have a couple of these camps.
I think it's a big missed opportunity not to go with the hieroglyphic style unit cards. I think they could have really done something truly amazing with that. Instead, we've got the Troy ones, which were again kind of a travesty, because I was like, how did we go from the painted vase style of Rome to just plain old unit cards? Like, this is what they look like in the game. Like, come on. I would never call anybody who went through this process of creating a game lazy, but like, there could have been a little bit more effort on that front. Anyway.
Camps dotted around our most vulnerable settlements, with units positioned to lend a helping hand if needed. We'll then recruit some more units to keep Taurset's army strong. We've got a nice balance going of ranged and melee to back up our chariots. Probably best to upgrade some of our food-producing buildings as well to feed the new men. As a leader who's declared themselves a pretender for the throne, we have access to a selection of crowns, each with bonuses to our faction. The Nemes crown offers us minus 10% replenishment, but plus 10 production of all resources, which we are in need of at the moment. Among Taurset's ancillaries, we can equip our new crown. Looking snazzy, Taurset.
Interesting.
No matter how fun sliding down a sand dune is, transversing directly across the desert plains is never an easy feat. So for now, we'll stick to the roads. This road leads directly to our next target. Excellent. Let's take the army out they've garrisoned at their outpost to make sieging the main settlement an easier task. Dungle Oasis does not lie on sacred Egyptian lands. However,
I like the garrison battles.
Specializes in
nice and
food
simple.
Resources, something we're fighting to keep in supply. Literally fighting. Our soldiers will need to construct siege ladders before the attack, as well as a ram to get through the gate. While preparation is made, we'll take our second army, garrisoned over in Netkem, and begin work raiding the lands of Abju. Abju are another competitor for the crown, so naturally we're at war. Not only that, but they stand between us and Mennefer. Oh, and if you've noticed the world has turned a little gloomy, it's because we've entered into a state of crisis. Don't look at me, I've been looking after our lands. I don't know what's going on over in Canaan. Well, let's hope that the gods are with us today. And if we head into the local deities panel, we can see their friendly faces. Before we continue in our campaign, we really should show them a little bit of attention, in the hopes that they'll bless us with some of their good fortune. Don't just...
I see they can be bothered to do the gods with sweet artwork, but not the unit. I'm going to get off the unit cards. All right.
Pick your god and who looks the coolest, though. We all know we'd pick Anubis. Instead, take a look at what bonuses they can offer you. Each god offers 3 tiers of worship, which we can build up through building shrines, praying to them, and devoting generals to their name. We're currently worshiping Isis, but Osiris offers 10% replenishment from prayer, a useful bonus post-battle. Plus, if we take Abju's capital, we'll have the cult center for Osiris. Taking that would seriously increase our favor. Whether it's divine intervention or placebo of belief, doesn't matter, works for me. Our siege equipment is ready, so let's head into battle.
Necessary. Engage the enemy.
At the beginning of battle, we're shown the current and predicted weather conditions. Taurset is not one to fly into battle without a bit of thought and consideration. Sweltering heat will just tire our men out before they can even reach the walls. We'll wait out this weather for something a little more tactical to us.
See, now I've always been of the mindset that you should just roll with whatever weather happens. That's just my personal playstyle, but you know, I think it makes it more fun, more dynamic, and more interesting for sure.
The sandstorm will once again help us here as we approach the walls, by reducing the enemy archers and towers' accuracy. We've positioned our siege ladders to the south, and our ram is on its own in the west, convincing our enemy to only hold a small defense at the gate. However, our chariots with their speed will head around, taking them off guard, and funneling through the gate as soon as it's broken down, capturing the vital points of the city, while the rest of our army fights at the walls.
The sandstorm definitely looks cool.
back in the campaign, we've specced into decrees focusing on resources so far. However, I plan on recruiting some more chariot units, so let's steer our research in that direction. Taurset has some unique chariots to aid her in battle, and I want to utilize them, especially the elite javelin chariots with their higher armor. We've begun the building chain for the units we want, so we'll continue to focus our resources on upgrading that. In Taurset's skill tree, we can see that 6 of each competencies will grant us Lavish in Parades, a useful title for a chariot-heavy army. For now, we've picked Overseer of Militia, and next we'll get Master Charioteer. And we could perhaps utilize Gaze of Neith along the way. We'll send Taurset down to the Buhen province, another source of both sacred Egyptian land and precious food production, plus our closest crown rival, Amen-Mes.
Looks
However,
like they need to go
her
from
absence in the
bronze.
homelands is felt, and while she's away building on her legitimacy for the crown, Abju decide now is a good time for an offensive. Seems they weren't too happy with our attacks on their outposts. There's a chance our second army can make their way back, and if they arrive in time, we'll have good backup. If not, we'll have to rely on the garrison force at our nearby outpost. Our second army were not able to reach Necken in time, so our garrison must prove themselves. Our reinforcing outpost will arrive straight away from the southeast. It should give us a nice rear attack if we can hold the outer areas. Taurset's army settles the raid's Her Hetem. It'll be the first of 4 settlements we plan to take in Buhen. As she heads down to face Amen-Mes, we've sent our second army back up north to finally take care of Abju. Then we'll take him across the river to take out our crown competitor, Wasset. It'll be an aggressive few turns before the end of the Civil War.
I'd kill for editing skills like this.
Fun fact, Wasset has a more commonly known name. Thebes.
Ooh.
At long last, we have proven our worth to Citus
Okay,
Pharaoh
now
over
this is
Egypt.
interesting.
But a crown isn't enough for Taurset. She wants the throne. Meneptah sits in the north, just beyond our husband Seti, who we've built good relations with. To get there, we'll need to take out Meneptah's remaining faction. Abju and Amen-Mes were taken care of, but while Meneptah's remaining faction is dwarfed by our power, they still pose a threat, and a second civil war could be just around the corner. Let's move my pieces around a bit. Utilizing our biggest natural asset, the River Nile, we can transverse across Egypt in a much more efficient manner. Taurset can head up north to connect with our second general in our approach on Meneptah. We should also set up some new trade deals to keep our resources flowing. We can find out what resources are in more demand and set up our barter agreements accordingly.
Now, I've noticed that his armies are not full 20 stacks. I don't know if this is a more of a mechanic, like you really don't need 20 stack armies all the time, or if this is just his chosen gameplay style for more of a cinematic play. It would definitely be interesting if you didn't need full 20 stacks rolling around all the time. Like you know, it would be more dynamic for sure. Definitely interesting either way. I hope to find out more soon.
And finally this turn, we'll want to revisit the gods. We've been doing an awful lot of praying, as well as constructing shrines at our outposts. Opening the local deities panel, we can see we've reached tier 2. which enables us to devote our general to Osiris. Looking at Ra's bonuses,
Sorry about
it would
that,
have been nice
guys.
to get a charge bonus for our chariots. No, I can't be tempted. I'll stick to Osiris. Besides, through the preparation against reprisal decree, we can unlock another slot for worship. Get 2 gods on the go. Perhaps for now we'll devote our second general and save Taurset for Ra a little later down the line. En route, we'll stop by our chariot workshops to pick up some new wheels. The elite javelin chariots are ours to recruit. Their higher charge bonus will be very useful for flanking. We've also unlocked the upper Egyptian Kopesh warriors, who are immune to flanking. There's one remaining army of Wasat, and as we move up the river, Taurset can thank our second general for his hard work by helping to take them out, ending their story once and for all. This gives us a good chance to try out our elite javelin chariots. We'll take our other chariots around to distract the enemy ranged units, while our elites tease the infantry units. I might hold the rest of my army back a little bit to play with them. Yeah, they ain't reaching me. Chariots are just perfect for skirmish mode.
Oh, nice.
The sun sets over Egypt, and I've noticed that Seti is edging closer and closer to the idea of confederation. As my husband, I thought he would have suggested that a little bit sooner, but I guess he was busy. Let's give him a little ultimatum and see where his loyalties lie. Yeah.
Wow.
Before taking Menepher, we need to deal with Pepta and Anubu Hejai. We'll send our warlord Seti out first to encircle the garrison outposts, cutting them off from the main settlements, while the brain of the operation, Taurset, swoops in to take control. Our second general will continue to defend our homelands. Menepta's remaining faction stands defiant in the capital, our last threat to the claim of the crown. Taurset has begun the attack with 2 siege towers and wall sapping. We've got another few turns to wait for that to complete. Once it has, our forces will have knocked a hole through their defenses. I plan to utilize it for my chariots to get in faster. Let us prove our legitimacy.
Now, I've heard other people say that they don't like the new wall sapping. I think it would be cool to see the wall collapse during the battle, but honestly, in realistic wall sapping, that's a process that takes weeks, or days, weeks, not something that happens over the course of a of a 40-minute battle. You know what I mean? 40 minutes is being generous on the Total War engine. They usually last more about 10. So, anyway.
We've set our siege towers to arrive at 2 different areas of the western wall to spread out the enemy forces. In front of them will be our spearmen in a spear wall formation, protecting themselves and the ladder units from arrows.
That's really pretty.
Our wall sapping has created a gap on the southwest corner, which will send our elite chariots through. I want some infantry to head in first though to defend them from any surprises, as a chariot backed into a corner is useless. We'll utilize our Kopesh warriors as they are immune to flanking. The rest of our chariots will fly around the field to draw attention away from the ladders, and finally, our ranged units will fire upon the wall to cause some early damage. I'm going to hold Taurset back for a little bit until Seti has arrived. By then I hope to have captured the main gate and we can send the rest of our armies through there.
Although this city burns, it will rise again under the eye of a new Pharaoh, a rightful Pharaoh. Egypt will no longer be led by short-sighted locusts, determined only to chase satiation, but instead, with the patience of the deserts, shaping Egypt with purpose, wisdom, and conviction.
Pretty cool. Didn't realize that was down there. All right, so what do we get from that? The maps look gorgeous. The campaign and the battle maps, I thought they all looked awesome. I can't say whether or not that until we get our hands on it, that if the gameplay is going to be much different on the battle maps. They say there's going to be a lot of things that are different. We won't know that until we actually play it. I think that the race for the Pharaoh is very interesting. It'd be cool to know what the circumstances are for a second civil war kicking off. The first one obviously kicks off when the Pharaoh dies. Is there a certain point that another faction reaches reaches high enough to challenge you, and then you just decide to kick off another civil war? Or sorry about that, folks. If you heard any kids giggling in the background, my kids were a little rambunctious. So what was I saying? I'm curious to know just how much the like how many times a civil war can kick off, or are you going to be able to vassalize, kind of like how Mycenae in Troy has a tendency towards vassalization instead of just pure domination. But so far, looking pretty cool. I'm interested to see how the other races play. I'm I'm very interested to see if there's anything else coming. I know that they say that they have 3 DLC packs planned. Are those going to be more factions for the races we already have? Are they going to be more factions for different races? Are we going to get I would love to see Ethiopia. I guess it would be called Kush at this point. And I would really love to see the Mycenaeans. I know that there's a lot of people who are saying we've already got Troy. I'd still like to see them. I'd like for that portion of the world to just be included into this. It doesn't have to be Achilles and Hector, but it would still be very cool to see all of those people, all of those civilizations come in, as well as Babylon. So I guess that's really going to be it from me. Looking forward to seeing some Hittite and Canaanite gameplay in the near future. And as we get closer to this game, I'm getting closer to getting pretty pumped for it. So without further ado, as always, to all my friends wherever you are, good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Thanks again to everyone for watching. I really couldn't do this without the support of my family, friends, and everyone who is helping me take my dream of becoming a content creator to the next level. I believe this channel will only get better as time goes on, so if you want to aid me in this journey, all I ask is you do what the kids say.
Comment, like, and subscribe!
Thanks, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.